You got to give people a couple seconds to come on in. So we're in day 2. I got Laura.
Hello.
I got Pete.
We are here.
Day 2. Why cardio primes your body for fat storage and what activity will help you burn fat 24/7. All right, so we're the trainers at AB Fitness Center. So this is day 2 of our live seminar on how not to gain weight during the holidays. So let's get this rolling. So why is cardio so bad, right? So there's a couple reasons why we don't do cardio here, and we'll explain all this today. But this is why most people, when it comes down to the holidays too, what most people do is, I'm just going to do some extra cardio to try to burn off some extra calories, and I'm going to go into the day, I'm going to do a cardio, I'll burn 500 calories before Thanksgiving dinner, and I can eat whatever I want during Thanksgiving. And that doesn't really work like that at all. So let's talk about what cardio is, first of all. What is our definition of cardio? So you want to take it? You want to take it?
Well, we don't do cardio, so.
Right, good.
Well, I'll start it by saying what everybody associates cardio to actually being. So, like, if you were to run on the treadmill, go outside, jog, use a bike, elliptical, something like that. Basically, where you keep your heart rate elevated for a consistent period of time, and you keep your body moving. Okay, that's when people say cardio. That's usually what they associate it with. But the reality is, anytime that you are keeping your heart rate elevated for a significant period of time, you are doing some form of cardio. So even weight training will get that same cardiovascular effect. I don't want to start confusing people with that yet at that point. But yeah, the general rule of thumb is elevated heart rate over a certain period of time is cardio.
Right. So examples of cardio, Zumba, right? That's cardio. Orange Theory,
Spin class,
going on a treadmill, elliptical, any type of those things, Peloton, that's all cardio. Even if you pick up weights in those classes and you start doing this, the little green ones, I thought we had little weights here, that's cardio. That's not weight training. It's very, very different. But let's begin. So why does cardio make you fatter, right? So cardio calories, what that basically means is when you do cardio, you're only burning calories for that amount of time that you're doing it, right? So that's what that basically means. So whether you're doing Orange Theory or you're going to the gym and you're doing the elliptical or treadmill, whatever, or you're going for a walk, you're going to burn calories for that amount of time that you do that activity. So if me and Pete went for a run outside and we did 20 minutes of cardio, we would burn calories for that 20 minutes. But as soon as we stop doing that, the fat burning process will be done. Now, the topic of today is how to burn fat 24/7. So most people, what they'll do is going into like today, like I said, like going into the holiday, flip the board like yesterday. It's backwards again? I think it's good. It should be good, the board today. It should be.
I don't know. It looks backwards to me on here. So
If it's backwards to us, it's good
it's
for
good?
them. Yeah,
Okay.
I think. So we'll see. Anna will let us know. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Cardio.
Cardio, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, when you're doing cardio, you're only burning calories for that amount of time. So Anna's distracting me. So board is backwards. All right, hold on. Let's change it. Let's see if I can change this quick.
That should be good. Yeah.
How's that? Is that better? Is the board straight now? Okay. Yeah, so it's straight now. All right, so anyway, so like I said, so when you do cardio, you're only burning calories for that amount of time, so that's it. The goal of, when it comes to changing the way you look and changing everything is all about burning fat all the time. So when you do cardio, you're only burning fat for that amount of time you do it. So that means that no matter how much cardio you actually do, your body becomes reliant on that amount of cardio. So if I was training Pete and I said, Pete, you want to burn extra calories, you want to burn extra fat, you're going to do cardio 5 days a week for a half hour. Problem is his body becomes reliant on that. As soon as he stops doing that amount of cardio, his body says, wait a minute, I'm not burning those extra calories anymore. I got to store some calories because now that's what's going to happen. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that activity anymore. So that's why cardio is really not that good when it comes to actually burning body fat. I don't know if you want to jump in and add anything else to that.
Yeah, I mean, we could go so much more in detail about this as why it's probably the least efficient way to actually burn body fat. Again, just kind of going back to what you were saying, it's literally just a a short period of time that you're actually getting those benefits. And if you want some long, sustainable results, a short fix to it is not really going to solve your problem, because then you start getting into the issue where, okay, so then what do I have to do next? You got to just keep adding on hours and hours of cardio to the point where if you want to get an additional benefit, you're just going to be doing cardio all day. Right. Nobody's going to be able to do that. And then it's still, even if you were able to do that, it's still less efficient and you're going to get less results doing it that way.
Right. And the main thing is what we always try to tell all of our clients too is you want to work smarter, not harder. He brought this up a while ago. He used to say, I could put anyone through a hard workout, right? But that's not necessarily means it's going to be productive. Mm-hmm. You always want to have productive workouts, especially when it comes to crunch time, right? Because this is the holiday season where the extra calories are in play. So how can we use these extra calories and crunch time to really make sure that we actually lose weight this holiday season? So let's talk about what else cardio does. So I'm going to let Pete take this one, but cardio actually increases cortisol levels, and I'll let you take it.
Yeah. Again, it's another topic we could go really, really in detail with, but just to keep it simple. So cortisol more or less is your stress hormone, okay? So your body releases cortisol when it's under stress. Can release it during physical stress, such as exercise, can release it during just mental stress. So if you're sitting behind a desk at work, you're really, really stressed out, cortisol levels are probably through the roof. Problem with cortisol too is that if we have our levels too high and we have them elevated for long periods of time, cortisol is also a fat storing hormone. So elevated levels of cortisol is definitely going to be completely related to actual fat gain and weight gain. So we want to do the most we can to keep cortisol levels down. Again, like I said, it's a stress hormone. So the longer you're in a stressed out state, an exercise state, whether it's weight training, whether it's cardio, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to be releasing more and more cortisol. So because cardio takes a long period of time to get anything out of it, like I said, you might be at the point where you have to do hours of cardio to be burning the amount of calories you need to burn. You're going to be releasing cortisol for much longer periods of time during the day, and your levels are going to be elevated longer throughout the day. So we want to do the best we can to keep cortisol levels down. The main reason we talk about having half-hour workouts in the gym is that keeps it to a bare minimum. So the less frequent you could work out and the shorter you could work out and still get results, the better it's going to be, especially for burning body fat and keeping it off. So we want to do the most we can to keep workouts short and intense, not long.
Right, exactly. And the other thing too, like I said, it's all about being productive, right? You want to make sure that whenever you're in the gym, we love the gym. Mm-hmm. We know that the people that come here don't necessarily like the gym. For a lot of people, fitness is on the back burner of their life. This is what we do. This is our profession. This is what we do. Of course, we love to work out. A lot of people don't. But, as a kid, you hate to brush your teeth, but you have to do it. Your parents make you do it because then you're going to have bad teeth. It's the same thing with your body. So we're basically your parents, and we're telling you, all right, guys, you got to go to the gym and be productive and do the right thing. So it's almost like me telling my daughter, okay, Gabrielle, brush your teeth, but use water. Mm-hmm. It's not going to do anything. It'll clean her teeth a little, but it's not as productive. Mm-hmm. So what's that toothpaste then, right? What's that important element that we need? So that brings us to our next topic, which is what actually burns fat 24/7. So I'll let Laura tell us what burns fat 24/7. I'm like hiding her here. Go ahead.
Weightlifting definitely will burn the fat 24/7.
Right. So the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is. I think it's for every pound of muscle you have, you burn anywhere between I'm gonna butcher this because I remember it off my head, but I think it's anywhere between 100 to 50 to 100 calories per pound of muscle that you have. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you're gonna burn 24/7. This is why weight training is so important and very different than cardio, but I don't want to get too far ahead because I don't want to do that. So muscle is the only thing that burns body fat. So when it comes to not gaining weight during the holidays, you want to focus on weight training and building muscle, because the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn at rest, the more calories you're going to burn all the time. And again, that's different than you actually getting on a treadmill and burning 500 calories versus putting on enough muscle and burning that 500 calories throughout the day. Anything for that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I use this example a lot too. And this goes for men and women, or men or women that have more muscle mass than another man or woman. So like, perfect example. Me and Anthony, very, very similar in weight, total body fat, total muscle mass. Our body's going to utilize calories very, very similarly. So Laura having a little bit less muscle mass, total body weight being a lot lower, she's not going to be able to eat as many calories as me and Anthony. So if we were all to sit down at Thanksgiving, eat the exact same meal, we could get away with eating more calories than Laura can, just for example, based on the simple fact that our bodies have more muscle mass on our frame. So if you use that example with anybody, you take a person right now, let's just say they have 100 pounds of muscle mass on their frame, their body's only going to burn so many calories at rest. Now, if you were to put 105 pounds of muscle on that frame, with that 5 additional pounds of muscle, they could sit around, not do anything, and burn more calories. So it's always to your advantage to have more muscle mass on your frame. The more muscle mass that you put on over the years, even for me, Anthony, for Laura, every year if we add another pound or so of muscle to our frames, that's an additional pound of muscle that's going to help us burn more calories. So every year it becomes harder for us to actually put fat on if you do it properly.
Right, and this is why we talk about this, and this is where just because you're lifting weights at Orange Theory, you're lifting little weights, or you're in your spin class and you have the 5-pound weights in your hands, that's not weight training. I wrote the importance of muscle as the next one, but we kind of covered that, but I guess we should talk about, we could go into the next one, how to actually build muscle. So you build muscle through something called progressive overload over time. So what that means is that if you work out today and you, bench press 50 pounds today for 5 reps, that means now your body says, okay, I have to make sure that Anthony can maintain that amount of lifting, so I have to make sure I maintain the amount of muscle so he can do that again. So now, the next time I come to the gym and I bench press again, if I do 55 pounds for 5, my body says, wait a minute, Anthony did 5 pounds more than last week, I need to put more muscle on his frame so he can do that again. And again, doing that over time will add significant amount of muscle to your frame because you're literally forcing that tissue on. And this is where places like Orange Theory and CrossFit and all those types of things don't really focus on that element of it. But that element of it is the most important part when it comes to actually building muscle and burning fat 24/7. Remember, if you're just because you're lifting weights, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to put on muscle. You have to do specific things to put on muscle.
Yeah, your body doesn't want to put muscle on, so it's going to be a hard process no matter what. Even if you come into the gym and you work really hard, you have to back it up with the nutrition to be able to do that because, again, your body's looking for any excuse not to put muscle on because, again, the more muscle you have, the more energy your body requires just to function normally. So I use the example, like I said, it's very hard for us to put body fat on the more muscle we put on. It's also very hard for us to put additional muscle on because that requires additional energy. Your body doesn't want to burn additional energy. It wants to sit around and get away with eating as little as possible and still functioning. So for us just to maintain our body weight, it requires even more calories. Your body doesn't want to do that. Your body wants to be very efficient with its energy. Believe it or not, the more muscle mass you have, the less efficient your body actually is with that energy, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something your body's fighting to do because your body just wants to eat a little bit of calories and not be able to expend too many of them, okay? If you're eating food and your body is constantly just burning right through it, it's definitely not the most productive thing from a survival standpoint, which is all your body really cares about. So again, your body's gonna fight you along the way to put more muscle mass on, so it's not gonna come easy, so it takes a lot of work. You're gonna have to use progressive overload in the gym, and you're gonna have to follow it up with that proper diet.
Right. So what are the exercises that truly build muscle and burn body fat? So why don't you tell us the big compound movements that everyone should be doing?
Definitely squat, bench, deadlift, stiff leg, deadlift.
Right, overhead press, pull-ups, pull-downs. Those are all movements that utilize a lot of muscles at once. So that's what you really need to be focusing on. All those other things are good. You have lateral raises, curls, and stuff like that. They're good because they utilize muscle, and if you progress with them, you'll improve those areas the way they look. But when it comes to building as much muscle as possible, focusing on a lot of muscle groups all at once is going to give your body the biggest bang for their buck. So when it comes to crunch time now, the holiday season, you want to make sure that you're weight training with big movements and making sure you're doing that over time. Again, going back to what I said yesterday, in yesterday's day one topic, making sure that you are doing this all the time. This doesn't start now. It doesn't start 2 days before Thanksgiving. This should have started last January and has been continuing. The main thing is you got to do this every day. Again, I've said it 1,000 times. Fitness is just like brushing your teeth. So let's talk about cardio and building muscle. So going back to kind of what we said before, this is a good way to kind of wrap it up, but cardio does not build muscle. This is why cardio primes your body for putting on body fat. Cardio does not build muscle. Muscle burns fat 24/7. Cardio only burns fat when you're doing it. So as you stop, it's done. So that's why cardio is not as good as weight training. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that.
Yeah, the other thing is the cardio, too much of it will actually interfere with putting on muscle mass. So again, if
Right.
your goal is to put more muscle mass on, which is the main thing you want to do to burn body fat, if you're doing too much cardio, you're actually sabotaging that part of it, and you're making it a lot harder for yourself. So if you're doing too much cardio, it makes building muscle actually harder. Could actually even prevent it if you're doing too much altogether. And then at that point, yeah, it's going to be much harder for you to burn fat. So you're actually better off cutting down the cardio, if not cutting it out completely and focusing on the weight training.
Right. All right, so that's day 2. So what activity actually burns fat 24/7? And that activity is weight training. Muscle is the only thing that burns body fat. So guys, if you're trying not to gain any weight during the holiday season, focus on getting to the gym and being progressive with your weight training, making sure that you're actually going into the gym, doing the right things and building muscle, because that is what's going to burn the body fat off and will allow you to eat more calories throughout the day, year, weeks, upcoming. So muscle is the only thing that will burn body fat forever. Cardio is only at that one moment in time you're going to burn you're going to burn calories. That's it. Then as soon as you stop, it's done. And your body becomes reliant on doing that one time a week. As soon as you stop, that's it. Done. Your body's going to say, oh, I'm not getting as many calories. I'm not burning as many calories as it was. I'm going to hold on to some calories just in case. So that's to kind of tie everything up to what we said. So tomorrow, okay, day 3 of this, we're going to go into the actual strategies that you should put in place to not gain weight during the holidays. So be sure to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And make sure that you watch this, give this video a like, give it a share because that helps. And if you comment below, you'll be entered to win a $100 gift card to AB Fitness Center. All right, everyone, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.